Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoebeck, and I'm gonna do another Try a Chapter tag edition for series September. This is put on by Krista at Books and Jams and Sarah at Sarah's Nightstand. So it is Saturday when I'm filming this, so I have time. And I just finished a book, so I feel like this is the time to do it before I dive into something else. So I got 4 books off my of the 50 books that are sitting, over 50 books that I have, first books in series for urban fantasy and paranormal romance. So I picked 4 urban fantasies, all very different, but I did what Shannon Ridler suggested and pick a theme. So this time, the theme is they are all male authors, because I don't own quite that many urban fantasies that are by men. These happen to be 4 of them. And then these all have detectives of some sort, or some kind of law enforcement, one or the other. So I'm going to do these in order by publication, because that's kind of how I've chosen to do all of my videos. Anyway, so the first one is Of Saints and Shadows by Christopher Golden. This is the first book in the Peter Octavian series, I believe it is. He is a PI in, looks like in Boston. So, and it has something to do with the Vatican and a rogue cardinal stealing some book of dark magic. Anyway, so it's the first book in that series. That's about all I know. So there's that. One I picked up just recently on my vacation was The Nymphs of Rocky Flats by Mario Acevedo. This one is in New Mexico, and he is also a PI. I'm not sure what the series is called, or if there's a series name, because this is the first book. So I'm not sure if there is one or not, but this is the first book for that. So this was, I think this is undead as well, but I don't know if they're vampires or what, but we will see. I'm not quite sure. But he's a private investigator, the main character. I have State of Decay by James Knapp. So this came next. This one is, he's an FBI agent, or I don't know if he's a former or he's still working as FBI. So I guess good enough for me. And I think that they're zombies. Because they're talking about revivers. I don't know. That word doesn't make sense. But reanimated corpses. So I'm guessing this is zombies. Anyway, so that's more kind of horror-ish. But that's urban fantasy, I guess. Oh, I don't know where this one takes place, except he's FBI. So I'm guessing in the US somewhere. And then the last one is London Falling by Paul Cornell, and this one is one I did take out from the library when it first came out in 2012. And this one, I just finally picked up a copy a couple of years ago when I saw somebody else talk about the series, and I thought, oh, I need to get back to that. I forgot about it. So this one has to do with some police officers who are investigating some death, and they come into contact and suddenly with something that gives them the sight. So I'm not sure. They just talk about I guess there's like 4 officers who take on some otherworldly creatures. So that's about all I know. And I'm really, again, this one is the one I might have tried a little bit before and then take it back to the library, because I just didn't have time because I get a lot of books out of the library and don't get to. So anyway, I'm looking forward to this one as well. So again, this one came out in 2012. This one was 2010. This one was 2006. And this was 1994. Anyway, so I'm going to start with this one because it's the oldest, and we will work through them. So I will come back. I'm going to read between 25 and 30 pages. None of them match up chapter-wise. Like, it'll be in the middle of a chapter on most of them. But we'll see. I'll get as close to 25 to 30 pages and as I can and try these out. So anyway, we will see what happens this time. Hey guys, so I finished 27 pages on this one. It had a break in chapter 2, I think. So this went in ways I didn't expect. The main character, Peter, is a private investigator, but he's also a vampire. I mean, they gave you hints, but I guess I should have read the very last line on the back here. It tells you, but I didn't read that all the way. I read partway through. I didn't read the whole thing. Anyway, so he's a vampire. So anyway, but he's a PI, so that does count in my of putting this together. Anyway, so we're following Peter as he takes a case of a friend of his. Again, they are in Boston. So he just got back in from town from being somewhere else. We don't know. I don't know where he was. But his friend's daughter, who is a paralegal, went missing 6 days before. And nobody knows what happened to her. So it's so again, it's like almost a week later. And he's just getting involved to try to find her. And so it's following him on the case. So it's like detective mystery, but we have him as a vampire. And again, he's not, I'm pretty sure people don't know that he's a vampire, although he made a joke at one point, and I'm not sure if people know or not. It's too early for me to know if it feels like the world doesn't know, but I'm not, again, I'm not sure. Because again, those are my favorite of the urban fantasies, when they're classic ones like this, where the otherworldly stuff is not known by everybody else. I don't know. Anyway, so again, we're following him. I like the descriptions of it. The prologue was, it just hurt me what happened to one of the guy that starts a different mystery, but they might be connected. We're not again, they might connect in the end. But because his thoughts it was very interesting on just humanized him before something bad happened. And I was kind of shocked by the prologue. So I think it was really well done. It pulled me right in. So this is definitely one I'm going to come back to. We'll see. As I said, I did, again, I like the mystery element. Again, the PI stuff with the vampire and maybe other things. I'm not sure yet. So, and again, there is some kind of priest going around doing bad things. So we will see what happens. So, anyway, so I've liked that so far. So next I'm going to do, the Nymphs of Rocky Flats. So I'll try to read between 25 and 30 pages of this as well. So again, this one, all I know about is the PI, and I said there's something undead. I'm not sure. And an outbreak of nymphomania. I guess I did not read this very closely, but hey, this will be interesting. We'll see what happens. So I'll be back. Okay, so I read the first 28 pages, and this was the first 3 chapters. So this too was fun. I did forget to say that this one was third person, and we got a couple different perspectives, like the prologue was from other perspectives, and then it's just third person from Peter's. So anyway, I forgot to mention that. But this one is first person, and we're following Felix Gomez, and he is Iraqi War, after 9/11, war veteran, and he, the beginning part is him being in the middle of like the war zone and stuff, and things happen, and then he becomes a vampire, which again I didn't know was gonna happen. I think that's hilarious. Anyway, so he's also a vampire, but he's a private investigator as well. So he comes out. He's actually from California, so I had all my places wrong, but I think it's because it says Roswell on the back here, which is why I got confused. So he's from California, but he gets called out. Of an old friend of his calls him out, who works for the Department of Energy, that has a place in Rocky Flats, Colorado. So he comes out to Colorado, and he's told about the job that the other guy wants done, because he doesn't want to get blamed for an incident that happens on the facility there, I guess, or whatever. But they did probably nuclear testing there of some sort, and one of the buildings they were going to decommission. And something happens where all the women on the crew all of a sudden become nymphos. I just laugh at this, but they don't know what the cause was, and they've got them all medicated now, and their poor partners are all sore, and one of them had thrown their back out. Oh, it was funny. Point is that he gets kind of conned into taking this job because of the money. So he moves into an apartment, which is what chapter 3 is. And then him setting up for dealing with this job. So anyway, I like Felix so far. I'm one of his vampireness is he's learned some tricks. He has to wear certain kind of contacts so people don't know, but he, looks pale and everything like the vampire. Like even the other one got talked about. So there's good things there. I didn't like it as well as the other book. I didn't connect quite as much to it, although the nympho part, I'm kind of curious to see what happens when he gets to interview the women and find out what they say. But so I am interested. I'm still interested in this one too. It might not be the top one, but I definitely still am going to keep that one. So the next one, which is State of Decay, as I said, I think it's this is also a first person, and we're following Nico. And I don't know how his last name is said, but anyway, as I said, I think he's FBI, and I think this is zombies. So I guess we'll see. I could be wrong, and he's a vampire too. That would be really funny. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, so I'll be back. Okay, I did read a little bit more on this one, only because this one... So there are good things on this, and there's bad things about this for me. This has multiple perspectives, but they're all in first person, and I am just not a fan. It's really hard for me on some books. I mean, again, some do it really well, and it works, and then other ones I find that it's really hard for me to really get into them, or I don't know. It's not that I don't think that they make them different. I don't know their thoughts on things, but I don't know. I just don't actually really like, because again, with first person, I get confused, not confused of who I'm in, not that much, but I don't know. I don't like it. Anyway, so this one has what they're called revivers, which is like technically reanimated corpses. So I'm not sure yet how that all works with dead bodies, but there's like electronics in them to make them alive. We first have the agent, the FBI agent, Nico, and his last name is really long and stuff. And he is like in the middle of a sting operation kind of thing of somebody who has, who's selling them illegally. And it turns out, he gets into that. And then we also follow a woman who is a boxer who's in a lower tier of society. So there's like tiers. And so I haven't really understood a whole lot about that yet. That's still pretty early. But people are in different tiers. She's like in a lower tier, so she boxes to make money. So she's, pretty strong. But I'm not sure how she relates to this yet. Then there's another cop who is trying to find a serial killer. And the serial killer calls her at home to give her information, or, tries to tell her to wake up and to not follow him. So, and then the only thing the victims all have in common is their first tier. So there's something to do with the tier system. I'm not quite sure. I don't know what these reanimated corpses. There are military ones. There are grunt ones, or ones that are, for labor ones, I guess is what I want to say. And then there's pleasure ones, which... that's not good. Anyway, so this one I'm just kind of unsure about if I will like it or not. So this is one I think could be interesting if I got farther into it. Right now, again, I read a little bit farther because I read to the fourth perspective, which seems to be somebody who, I don't know, seems kind of psychic or knows stuff that she shouldn't. And she's supposed to meet all these people at some point and have a relationship like of some sort with them, not romantically, I don't think. I think it just means she'll interact with them. And then she's getting drunk as this is happening. And then, I don't know. So I don't know for sure who she is really, except that she mentions all the other other characters. So again, as I said, I got 4 main characters in the first chapter that I read. And then we went back to Nico, the FBI agent, and he was, on the hunt for something. So anyway, so I don't know. This is a weird one. I don't know how I feel about this one yet. So this is, definitely at the bottom, I think right now, just because I'm not sure. I don't think it's one, it's not like I want to get rid of it yet. It would definitely, I would like to read a little bit more before like getting rid of it for sure. But this is kind of an iffy one. So this is like, if you guys have read this and just hate it, let me know, because I don't know about that one. And then the last one I'm going to try is London Falling. And this one, I don't remember if I read, so I might remember a little bit at the beginning when I read it, but right now I don't recall anything, because again, I got it from the library at one point when it first came out, and then forgot about it completely. So we're going to try this, and again, this is Cops as well, so yeah, I'm kind of, we'll see what happens. So, and again, I think this is magic, so we'll see. But they're supposed to get the site. So we'll see what happens. So we'll see how much it tells me. I think the first, it's 27 pages for the first 2 chapters. So that's what I'm going to read next. Okay. So I did 27 pages. I did say 27, right? Yeah. Of London Falling. So this one is harder for me because there is no supernatural element so far. I know it's coming, but it didn't happen in the first 27 pages. Something weird is happening. So we have some cops who are once been undercover for 4 years with this gang, with 2 different gangs. He was in one, and then that gang got absorbed into another one. So he is with the gang leader, and something's going on. The gang leader has lost something, or is looking for something on New Year's Eve. So they're racing around town, and the agent, Costain, he is kind of in deep. He's made some bad choices being undercover, and Quill, who's the one in charge of their group, he is pretty much against him, and thinks he's done wrong and stuff. So he gives him there's one last day. They have a couple hours before the money runs out for the undercover operation, and they go, "You have to get information on him because we're going to arrest him, and we're hoping you have something after all these years." Anyway, so he's wired. And he goes with him looking, he keeps going to the mob boss keeps going to these addresses and nothing's there. So we don't know what he's looking for, but it's obviously something he's lost, that he's mentioned. So, and in the end, the cops do come and, come and arrest him. But something's weird's going on of what he's lost. And, as I said, Costain has admitted that he's an undercover cop right before the cops show up, and he's trying to save his butt, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. Anyway, so I don't know. This is very cop drama right now, and I wasn't quite ready for that. I mean, I like cops and the mysteries and urban fantasy, but it's really a little bit more than because I don't really like any of the characters. The guy the one undercover for a long time, don't really like him because he's, done some things. There's another guy who's undercover, has only been undercover for a little bit, but he's kind of like a golden boy, kind of new to the job kind of thing, so he's not as good. I don't know, but he's kind of more goody-goody, but maybe brown-noser, I should say, like kind of throwing the other guy under the bus a little bit. And then Quill, who is the one in charge, who is just an asshole so far that I can tell. Anyway, so I don't know, as I said, I think it's going to happen pretty soon, the supernatural element, and I would have to continue to know more. But, so I'm not sure about this one, because it was so cop heavy. I just wasn't expecting that. I was hoping for more supernatural stuff, and there's like nothing in that first 2 chapters. So, anyway, so I'm not sure about this one. This was in third person, in different people's heads, so multiple perspectives, so that I like. So, anyway, so let's go through this real quick on which ones. I'm going to keep them all, but, of course, I like 2 more than I like the other ones, the other 2, but I think we're going to see. Sorry, my arm is falling apart here. Falling apart. Getting tired, sorry. So of these, I would say my bottom one is State of Decay. I'm not sure that I want to read this one, again, because it's multiple POVs, but first person. And I'm just not sure about this one. So that's the bottom. I would say London Falling is next, only because, again, I didn't get any supernatural elements, so I don't know how this is going to go. And right now, I don't like anybody. So that could be a problem. I would say number 2 is the Nymphos of Rocky Flats, because at least there were some funny things in there, and that they were going to be nymphos. Anyway, I'm still kind of... And they're vampires. Anyway, so we'll see. I don't know. That one I kind of liked. But I think the one that I'd probably pick up sooner rather than the rest of them is of Saints and Shadows, because even though this does have the mystery element of looking for the woman who's missing, and then there are some other people who have been injured and stuff in the prologue. I don't want to say too much, but I think this was really I was much more involved with these characters. As I said, right away, that prologue was like I just felt it, and it was, again, that was just those people are in the beginning, and it's not what the main character. So the main character I like so far, again, I was surprised he was a vampire, but I would read this. So I'm thinking this one is the one that I would read, probably sooner rather than the other ones. So those are the books that I tried, and a couple more in my collection. I'm hoping, as I said, to do another week of these at least, and then we can see if I continue on, because I still have probably 50 more still to do. Because again, I still have quite a few a couple of them that I found on the shelves after I did that video. So anyway, so I hope you guys enjoy this. If you guys have read any of these series, let me know which ones you think I should read or what you think I would like from what I described. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Yes. Cooper's a good boy.